Welcome back to Military Break, where we talk all things military. Well, majority at least. I'm your host, Patrick Montgomery, aka Mike, and today we're about to dive into something real, something that most people don't talk about, but they need to hear it. Military relationships. And I know we've all heard these fairy tales about soldiers coming home to their loving partners, long awaited reunions, and those picture perfect moments. But look, I gotta be real with you, man. Them are straight out of a movie. 100%. But let me tell you something. It's not all of roses and romance, but it's a darker side and it's rarely talked about. And today we're pulling back the curtain to expose the truth behind military relationships. Are you ready for some raw and hard truth? Wait, pause. Let's get into it. First things first, what most people don't realize is how much the military lifestyle destroys relationships. And I'm not just talking about the cheating or divorce, I'm talking about the mental toll. You see, when one person is in a relationship and they're constantly deployed, moving every couple years and basically living in a different reality while the other person is left at home holding down the fort, it becomes a breeding ground for resentment, loneliness, distance. Man, trust me, the distance, it really isn't just even physical. People never really talk about the emotional toll that it has on an individual. You know how everyone says communication is the key to any relationship. Well, in a military relationship, good luck with that, man. It ain't gonna happen. Your partner is deployed and you might go weeks, sometimes months, without real communication. But when you do, it's guarded, it's superficial, but it makes sense to me. No one really wants to speak how they feel honestly, especially when they got bombs and all this kind of other stuff going on in the background. You're living two completely different lives. And then bam, just like that, they're back home and now you're supposed to pick up where you left off. Spoiler alert, it doesn't work. But now let's address the elephant in the room, infidelity. Look, I'm not saying that everyone cheats, and let's be real here. Temptation is everywhere. Deployments are long, they lonely, they stressful. People crave connection, and especially back home. The partner's left behind to deal with their own isolation, and you think Instagram DMs or dating apps don't start looking tempting, especially when you're feeling neglected. Come on, man, let's be honest here. Cheating in a military relationship is more common than anyone wants to admit. But what's worse is often swept under the rug. Oh, you cheated, but we're not going to talk about that because we're supposed to have a perfect patriotic couple. It's toxic. It's damn near toxic. It's damaging. People don't think about the damage that it does to an individual. But think about this. According to recent studies or whatever, military marriages are more likely to end in divorce compared to civilian marriages. In fact, some branches have divorce rates, honestly, that's twice as high. And that's something you don't hear from recruiters. They don't tell you, they don't talk about it. And if you think it's just infidelity or distance breaking people apart, think again. PTSD, untreated mental health issues, alcoholism. This is the harsh reality a lot of service members returning home have to face. But it's not their fault. The partners they aren't prepared for the emotional wreckage. You go from a relationship where your biggest fight was over what to watch on Netflix to dealing with panic attacks, outbursts, deep-rooted trauma. Are people really talking about this? And the answer is no. But here's the controversial part, one that'll probably honestly get me in trouble. Some people shouldn't be in a relationship when they join the military. And I know that sounds harsh, but hear me out. If you're not ready to commit, unpredictability, the constant separation, the emotional ups and downs, that honestly don't drag someone through that mess. It's not fair to them, it's not fair to you, and I see way too many people get married just for the benefits. Military housing, healthcare, dependent paychecks. When are you marrying someone for actual commitment and not convenience? We all know how that story ends. For real, we all know how that story going to end. And that brings me to the hard truth. Military relationships are often rushed. You meet someone, it's intense. You both are caught up in a whirlwind of emotions. And before you know it, you standing in front of a judge saying, I do. And I understand you trying to do that because you're about to deploy and you want to make sure that that person is taken care of if something ever happened to you. But that's not love, baby. That's pressure. It's a recipe for disaster. And look, I'm not saying that military relationships are doomed from the start. Some couples actually make it work. And I have a lot of respect from people that honestly that make it happen. But we need to stop pretending that these relationships are somehow stronger or better simply because they're in the military. Honestly, in fact, in many ways, it's harder. It's harder to have a relationship being in the military. It's more fragile, and often the relationship is held together by a thread. And if you're in a military relationship right now, or you considering getting into one, you need to talk to someone. You need to honestly talk to yourself first. Are you ready for these real challenges? Not just the cute homecoming photos or the I miss you text, but the real stuff, the hard stuff, the stuff that people aren't talking about, the stuff that's really reality. But at the end of the day, it's about being honest. Be honest to yourself. Be honest to your partner. Be honest about the realities of military life. It's not all romantic. It's not all glamorous. And it sure as hell ain't easy. But let's be real. If you're not ready for the dark side of it, well, maybe it's time to reconsider. But I said a mouthful. But that's all I got for you guys today. And honestly, if you found this eye-opening and you have your own stories to share, please hit the like button, drop a comment down below and let me know, some of the stories or whatever that you may have seen or heard. Because I done heard it all, man. But I want to hear from you. And don't forget to subscribe and like for honestly more content or whatever that's to come. But I feel like this is something to talk about. And let me know if I need to go any deeper in discussion about this topic because it need to be heard. But hey, until next time on Military Bread, hey, let's eat.